Welcome to Misadventures Afternoon Teach Time, where every afternoon during the weekdays, I'm going to be discussing critical learning and how you can bring it to your classroom. I'm super excited. I'm like a little out of breath. That's how excited I am. Because I have created a curriculum resource to help you harness the power of critical learning and bring it to your classroom. Because what exactly is critical learning, critical thinking? We talk about critical thinking skills all the time, but have we really thought about what that means? I hadn't much until I started studying critical theory, and I can't wait to share it with you because now I do consider myself a critical elementary educator. But what I've created is actually a system that can be for any grade level and any subject to help you bring critical thinking to your students, no matter what age, no matter what class you teach. So it's kind of a big goal that I have there, but let's see how I do with it. So, what I want to show to you today is the RIPE critical knowledge building system. I'm just going to be doing a little tease of it every day this week, breaking down different elements of the different parts because there's a lot of moving pieces involved. And it's actually going to be launched on Friday. So, it's not available yet. I'm still putting the finishing touches on all the products, but it's coming soon. And I can't wait to share it with you guys because it has been a long time coming and I'm ready to get it out of my hands and into yours. Please take it from me. Okay, so let's see. Where should we begin? How about this? What is the most dreaded question you face as a teacher in the classroom? I bet you won't have to think too long before coming up with, man, it haunts us. It follows us around like a shadow. We can't escape it. The ever present question: why are we learning this? What's the point? What are we doing here? The question we get no matter what age we teach. Why are we stuck in this room learning this thing? Why? And that's actually a question that critical theorists have been looking into for quite some time. And in order to start asking the question, or answering rather, we get asked plenty about why, but answering the question why is going to take a methodology that I'm going to explain to you today. So, the RIPE critical learning system is a set of resources that begins with these posters up on the wall. I have 4 verbs here, and they are meant to be much more than just posters. And we'll go into more of the details later in the week. But these 4 verbs are 4 learning actions, 4 ways to answer the question, why? Why are we doing this? We can revere the lesson that we're teaching. We can honor the lesson purpose and meaning. That's what reverence is all about. So we take the knowledge and we look at what's good about it. Why has our society decided that this is vital that we learn right now? What about its importance made our ancestors discover it in the first place? What is the story behind this knowledge that makes it worthwhile? That's what revere is all about. Then we move into imagine. And this is something, that is lacking from our classrooms so much. This is where we really begin to unleash creativity. So here we can really, we turn why into why not? Why isn't it something else? Why couldn't this lesson be something different? Maybe it could. Maybe there are elements of it that could be different. Maybe there are elements of it that can't be different, that are the way it was. It was always going to be this way. There was no other way for it to be. But that isn't always the way the lessons that we teach are about. So Imagining is another way that you can answer the question why with your students, is using imagination to think about how could things have been different? How could this lesson have showed up in our classroom today as something else? And why is it important that it is this way? What about it, since we've spent time already revering what's good about it? What would make it different? How are there things that could be better, perhaps? Are there things that could be worse, perhaps? Certainly, I'd say yes to both of those. And in order to unlock those kind of answers, we'll have to use our imagination. Then we move into problematize. So we've honored knowledge and its purpose and meaning. We've imagined beyond the knowledge what else could be. We've looked at the bounds of what is and looked outside of it to see what is not. And now we're going to problematize. So now that we've imagined and opened up our mind a bit, we can start to see, okay, maybe this knowledge that humans have constructed and uncovered through facts and knowledge searching and truth finding and collective work where they formed this knowledge, this lesson that we're bringing to them. Now we can problematize it. And this is about examining the knowledge for weakness. So we can brainstorm how this knowledge could be even more powerful. We can look back. Does it have a problematic history in some ways? How was it problematic? Is it causing problems today in some ways? How can we readjust the way we treat this knowledge to make it less problematic? Because maybe there are problematic elements, maybe there aren't. But this is where we really get to begin to develop an identity in students that normally they don't get to do. And that's problem solver. Present the knowledge in front of them as a potential problem that maybe needs solving. Here's the thing, is that the way knowledge works, and this is a critical claim, but the way knowledge works is sometimes it just takes a new perspective, a new person saying, you know what, that doesn't exactly work, does it? And that's how we advance our knowledge, which is the next step, enhancement, where we level up the knowledge. So once we've problematized it and looked at problems so that we could find solutions, then we get to actually begin to think about what could those solutions be? If there are problems, how can we enhance upon it? And if we can't enhance upon it, because that's quite a task, but a task that we should open up to students rather than textbooks and lessons and knowledge that we throw at them. We treat them as if they're museums. No touching, right? Don't touch, just look. Just look at these artifacts of intellectual prowess instead of saying, hey, this is an interactive museum. Get your hands on this stuff. You might notice something about it that nobody else ever has, and that makes it that much better. That's how knowledge, the evolution of knowledge, has always been and will always be. It's a human constructed project. And that's what this RIPE system is all about. And it's really exciting. So these things are pretty vague. And even I've been crafting this for a long time. And bringing this to the classroom, these are big concepts. They're important. They're important because we do, like I said, want our kids to actively get their hands on knowledge and feel part of this great historical and social legacy that we've created as knowledge builders. We're a unique species, and that we construct knowledge and then use that knowledge to craft a world unlike any other creature on this planet. And so knowledge is a huge part of that. And we want our kids to feel as if they are part of that legacy, not that the work has already been done, that society is finished and there's nothing for them to do. There is no point to learning if they can't possibly be part of learning story. And so that's what the RIPE critical knowledge building system is all about. But it's a pretty big, those are pretty big umbrella and like kind of vague ideas. Like, how the heck am I going to problematize my algebra lesson? You know? And fair enough. We'll get to that because, yes, this is quite a task, as I've said. But to help me do that, I have created for each one of these 4 avenues to answering why are we learning this lesson? And what good does it do me? I've created touchstones that fall under each one of these learning actions. And a touchstone, I like to think of them as anti-standards. So they kind of look like those standards that you have to put up on your wall. We all know the flip and drill. We have these up on our wall. I can statements and I will statements. So we're going to level up from that. We're trying to be critical is rising above that. We're not just doing stuff to do stuff. We're doing stuff with a purpose. There's meaning infused into what we're doing. We're problem solvers. We're enhancers. We're imaginers. We revere what is good and we change what isn't. That's what learning is all about. So these touchstones, I call them anti-standards because instead of like all first grade classes are, they're supposed to be able to add up to 200 or maybe 1,000. I can't remember off the top of my head. But so every class across the nation, and this is important. We should know. I'm not saying that those things aren't important. We should learn how to add. But we shouldn't just learn how to add to learn how to add. There's more to it than that. Like, yes, we can use it in real life, but why? Why did we invent adding in the first place? And like, yeah, I can use it at the grocery store. Ugh. We had that growing up. I've done it with my kids and like, yeah, that's fine. We're getting you ready for adulthood and out in the real world. Blah, 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 bills to pay. What kid wants to prepare for the adult world? Fine, we can prepare them for the adult world, but can we frame it in a meaningful way, perhaps? That's what this is about. So, again, anti-standards, because these are not meant, instead of setting up every first grade class to be doing the same thing, we might be having the same starting place, but there's no way. These are not designed. These are kind of going to be tailored to where your kids take it. And the thing is, we're going to have to get, you and me both, are going to have to get to know this learning system and effective ways to do it, because these are great jumping off points. But I'm going to need help. You're going to need help. We're going to learn how to bring these to classrooms together. And I've got ideas, but I've created a huge system that I haven't worked out all of the ideas yet. And so this is a collective democratic project. I'm really excited about it because I think these are good ideas, but like I can't do it all by myself. So here's the other reason why they're called anti-standards. Because when we have them, and look at this, see this, it's a great jumping off point. This is reverence. We're learning a lesson that can make the world a better place. Hot damn. No one ever said that to me in school. And like, yeah, here's the thing. All teachers are critical. I don't know where to put this. On my head? All teachers are critical in our best moments. We are. But the thing is, we're not able to be critical as much as we want. Is that just distracting? I'll put it down. We're not able to be critical all the time. I know this for sure. I had many, many off lessons. I'm not in the classroom right now, but I taught for 5 years. And I was not a critical teacher in all my moments. Haha. But in my best moments, I was critical. And I was talking about important things like this. making the world a better place. This is why kids want to go to school, right? This is one of the big reasons. Like, whoa, yeah, I want to make the world a better place. I want to make my life a great life, right? That's what this is about. And so, learning skills that help us do this, heck yeah, I am into that. So, these touchstones, as I said, are anti-standards. So, we're learning a lesson that can make the world a better place. Great. I can imagine so many conversations you can have in your classroom with this. But like, you've probably hit around this question before, I imagine. My system is here to aid you in that process. So, as to make sure you want to talk about these things, right? You want to talk about these things, and you do in your best moments, but sometimes it falls to the wayside, right? But with the ripe critical knowledge building system, you can put these with the touchstone of the day right next to your standards. And so this can become similar, it can become mirroring, but do something entirely different and really liberate your classroom rather than mechanize it. Because that's what standardization ends up doing, is treating kids like factory, as if they can go through this factory line and produce a certain amount of product at a certain date, at a certain time, etc., etc., etc. Ugh, these are humans we're talking about. Humans, my gosh, have I ever met a student who didn't want to make the world a better place? And like, wow, what a meaningful message to put behind math. Like, whoa, how can math make the world a better place? How can the science we're learning today make the world a better place? This is a critical question to bring to the classroom. Again, how does this anti-standardize? Well, yeah, I imagine your class will go in many different directions without my help, but what I've done is, you can see it, right? Okay, I'm going to have to practice this holding thing. I am not good at it. I also was not teaching during the pandemic. Can you tell? I was in grad school. And so I have no practice with the Zoom camera as y'all do. Y'all are martyrs. I swear, in the trenches during the pandemic. Are you insane? I mean, you are. I know you are. You're a teacher. Of course, you're insane. But wow, I bow down. Seriously. Anytime I tell people I'm a teacher, immediately I say, but I haven't been in the classroom. Don't look at me like I'm a hero. I haven't been in the classroom the past 2 years. So anyway, sorry for that rant. So as I was showing you so adeptly, each learning touchstone has a QR code and a link which will lead you to the knowledge gardens. So each one of these, and you could visit it, that's fine. This is a public project. So this is called public pedagogy, what I'm trying to do. So yeah, this isn't secret. You can go to it. It's not totally set up yet. On Friday it will be. But here is where we will collect teacher ideas. How did you teach this lesson? What did you do with this? You can go here and log it in, and then you can look through other teacher ideas to help you learn how to bring it to your class and level up your teaching instead of just doing, we're adding to 1,000, or we're figuring out the quadratic equation. Like, okay, we're figuring out the quadratic equation, but how can it make the world a better place? How has it made the world a better place? There are so many things to go down, and the knowledge gardens are a place where teachers can plant their ideas and you can scroll through them. Each one of these touchstones, every single one, has their own. And so you can scroll through not only your subject, but other subjects too. I didn't want to limit, only language arts teachers to looking at only language arts stuff. No. You can look at the math stuff. How did they do it? Oh my gosh, there are probably connections between language arts and math, and their ideas might give you ideas. So anyway, anti-standards, learning touchstones. Because also, can you tell why that's even better in name? Like, standards kind of suck, you guys. Who wants to be standardized? Like, yeah, I get it. Again, we should learn things. There are things that are necessary to learn. But Standards? Oh, come on. Touchstones are about if you hit on an idea, you can touch on something. And really, eventually, what I can't wait to bring these to my own classroom, because really what I want to do is kind of I've also created a longer one of these with multiple. And so I would kind of be able to like prepare once you get to know all these touchstones, because there are, by the way, over 425. So there's over 100 for each one of these. And they fall under these big ones. This is a level 1, and there are 13 level 1s. And I might show those off this week. We'll see. But there are 13 of these big themes, and all the smaller themes fall under them. And really, eventually, what I want to do, that's what I was saying, is have multiple available for any lesson, right? And then depending on where the discussion goes, then I can touch on the touchstone that is relevant, that the students let us down, right? And then we can go down that one instead of just, forcing them down a single path, which is what standardization is all about. This is not meant to be that. This is meant to be a stroll through the knowledge gardens, where everybody takes their own path. And I'm really excited about it, you guys. So that's just a quick little intro into what the RIPE critical knowledge building system is. I'm going to be going into a lot more detail because there's, a lot happening, and I am so excited about it. But it's a project, and I need your help. Seriously, I need your help. I can only think of. Here we go. Let's see. We're learning a lesson all humans can use to think powerfully. That's an exciting jumping off point, but where could it go? Where would y'all take it? Ooh, it's exciting. I will be asking questions like that starting next week, and you're going to want to tune in. Again, every weekday in the afternoon. I'm not good at Eastern, Western time. Eastern, is it West Coast? What do they call it? It's definitely Eastern. Central, Mountain, Pacific? Is it Pacific? Eastern Pacific. See, I'm not good at that yet. 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I know that. I'm in Colorado. So I'm going to be doing this and showing off elements. I cannot wait. I'm so excited. But today I did want to do one thing that I'm going to do every single time. I've actually talked for a while. That's really because I've been bursting for months to start talking to other teachers about this. You guys, I have been working on this, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So, not only I will not have enough to show off for this long every single week. And so instead, a lot of times I'm going to be talking about the philosophy behind the methodology, because that is as important to understand. That's as important to understand as the actual product itself. It's kind of like the instruction manual, you need to know how to wield it, because it can be, these are big ideas. And I've certainly needed help to construct them and to make them applicable to you. But I think together we can really do it and do awesome things. We can really enhance schooling, you guys, because there's so much to revere about schooling, right? We love teaching kids to learn. What we've been doing is good. Teaching is good. You're a good teacher. You are a critical teacher in your best moments, but I haven't been a critical teacher enough. I can problematize a lot about my time in the classroom, but honestly, a lot of it had to do with these greater conditions that were placed upon me. I would have been having more of these conversations if there weren't so much constraint. So this system is designed to help you make more space in your classroom for the stuff that's really important, right? The stuff that you really want to talk about, that you really want to teach about, the really important stuff. If you have it up on the wall and it looks really official, like those standards, I mean, this is real learning. It's not standards. It's going into the why, but still, it's pretty good. Anyway, I got distracted again. That might happen sometimes. Okay, so every week I will go into more of the resource for the rest of the week, but definitely in the future, what you will get every time is I have a bunch of cards talking about the different philosophy behind these 4 learning actions and the general methodology in general. So I've got some cards here, and we're going to talk about the system as a whole today, which I have been doing. Oh, this is my knowledge of the people, by the people, for the people. Because again, knowledge is a historic social project that we've been working on as a human species. So all knowledge is of the people, by the people, for the people. And yeah, that's what the RIPE learning system is all about. By the way, you can get some of my cool knowledge of the people, by the people, for the people. Oh, it's tucked under my computer. I can't pull it out. But I have some cool merch that will be available only for Patreons. So I do have a Patreon at Misadventure in the Classroom at patreon.com. And all my of the people, by the people, for the people knowledge stuff is going to be for Patreons only. So I'll show you some stickers tomorrow. But for now, I have put all my philosophy cards in here, and I'm going to shake it up. And we're going to pull out one of these pieces of wisdom that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. And look how I'm still not very good at this either. Look how it's not. Huh. How'd y'all do this during pandemic time? Oh, goodness. Okay, there we go. Oh, good. Oh, yay! Okay, so this is such a good quote. Sorry, it's on my face. Seriously, how did y'all do this? God bless the teachers of the pandemic time. What a nightmare teaching to a camera is. Don't care for it. Okay, so here is one of my motivating quotes for the methodology that I've created. Actually, you know what? I'm going to put it over on this. Oh, crackers. I shouldn't move it around because I want y'all to see RIPE. RIPE. Why I made that system. This is one of the reasons. So I'll read it. I can read it on the screen. If the world were merely seductive, that would be easy. If the world were merely challenging, that would be no problem. But I arise in the morning, torn between a desire to improve the world and a desire to enjoy the world. This makes it hard to plan the day. E.B. White. I really love this. I've always loved this quote, but when I came across it, when I was looking for, all these philosophy by the people, of the people, for the people, to back up what I've done, I love that this one totally makes sense. So if the world were merely seductive and a beautiful thing to enjoy, we would have nothing to do but revere it. That would be the only thing we'd do. We'd spend all our time in reverence, constantly talking about how great things are. And it has its place, certainly. But the world is not merely seductive, as E.B. White, author of that Swan book, and Stuart Little, right? Something else. Charlotte's Web? Is that right? I should know this. Definitely that Swan. White Swan? I see the cover in my head. Okay, so we talked about reverence. So yeah, we can't have reverence alone. And I've got to say, if I'm going to problematize the school system, use my critical thinking skills, yeah, we do a lot of reverence. We don't do any of the other stuff. But honestly, we don't even do this enough. Like, we're just kind of like, yeah, you should learn it because it's good for adulthood. The end. It's like, okay. The end. It's good, I guess. I guess math is good. I guess science is just good. See, it's not enough. It's not enough. We know that because we get the question, why? Head down on the desk. These are kids who have no answer to their reasons why. So let's give them some reasons why, some real, valuable, critical reasons why. Okay. I'll keep talking about this. Okay, so if the world were merely seductive, we would just be in reverence. Wow. But that isn't the case, is it? If the world were merely challenging, that would be no problem. Because then we would do nothing but problematize. And I really do like that these two are kind of opposites. Because these are two kind of side. They're all kind of a thing, but we can talk about that more later. There's like a lot of philosophy behind this, you guys. I can't wait to tell you all about it. But these two things are dialectical. They appear to be opposites, but they're actually in tension one another. They're part of a greater whole. They're part of the work we have to do when we enter into the world. We can't just, what did he say? Be seduced. Such a funny way to say it. We can't merely be seduced by the world. We would fail. That would be an insufficient human life. That would be uncritical. And we can't just enjoy the world. There's too much problematic stuff. Y'all may have noticed some of the problems. War, hunger. My God, is it 2022 and we still have people who are hungry? That's a serious problem. And I won't go down anymore because that one makes me mad enough. So there are plenty of problems. So we can't just be revering. We also have to prepare these kids. If we're preparing them for the real world, if that's what our surface level of reverence has been all about, like, yeah, this is for later. And like oh boy, I have completely forgotten the main reason why. I'm sorry. What have I been doing? Yeah, the main reason why is the test. The test. The test is the main reason why. And what's the test for? For good scores for later, for high school, for middle school, for adulthood. Again, we're just like kicking the can to another test and then into paying bills. Is that what we're doing? That I found super problematic. When I entered grad school and I was presented with a critical question that I could not evoke a satisfactory answer for, like, what is education for? It isn't just for preparing them for the adult world and for paying their bills. Man, people have been involved in an educational process long before they had like bills to pay. Humans have always been learning. We're an intelligent species, which means we learn. That's what we do. We learn. So there have been so many generations of humans that didn't have to pay bills and still learned from one another. It's a historical thing. Things have changed, obviously. Now we have school systems and things. But people have been learning for so long. The Greeks, for example, which we base a lot of our educational ideas in the West off of the Greeks, it wasn't about getting a job and paying bills. That's not what schooling was about. It was for truth. It was for purpose. It was for meaning. And we have lost that. We have lost that by mechanizing our classrooms and bringing meaning. This is meant to bring meaning back to your classroom in a way that it's not all on your shoulders. Because trust me, I know you've been doing the work. You do everything you can to bring meaning to these lessons. Trust me, I know. I just want to help lift that burden off your shoulders a little bit by having some curriculum resources that you can lean on and be like, oh yeah, maybe this could be the way. And by the way, it's not just going to be me, it's going to be other teachers too, right? With these knowledge gardens, we're going to be doing this together. We can help one another with these issues in a way that I'm really excited about, that, I don't know, that could maybe change the way we do lesson planning and stuff. But anyway, back to this. Okay. Problematizing, reverence. I've probably skipped a lot of my points, but testing. This first video is going to be rambling. I really apologize. I'm making scripted videos where I go through each element that will be nice and organized. This first one was going to be a bit of a burst, and that's what it's turning out to be, but that's okay. I'm glad E.B. White is here to keep me on track. Okay. He finishes. I arise in the morning, torn between a desire to improve the world because it's problematic, and he's talking about enhancing. So he's talking about enhancing what he has problematized. He wouldn't have known that the world was challenging at all if he had no sense of problemization. There we go. I'm not going to try and do it right. We have a sense. We are problem solvers as a species. We sense problems. And we like to solve them. And sometimes, we pick things that aren't problems, don't we? Yes, we do. Maybe if we learned in school how to develop our sight, I like to call it critical sight. If we develop our sense for critical sight for problem solving, then we won't get lost in useless problems. We'll only do meaningful problems. If we learn what meaningful problems are. What are meaningful problems? Well, that's what this is all about, figuring out. So, okay. He's torn between a desire to improve the world and a desire to enjoy the world. Ain't we all? It makes it hard to plan his day. Well, let me tell you, it made it hard to make this system because what we need as humans is contradictory. We're a contradictory species and we need opposing skills, right? There are some moments that demand reverence. There are so many good things about what humans have done. So many. We're great. We're great and we've done so many great things that your kids can explore. What are those great things that humans have historically been capable, that we're capable around the world in all sorts of cultures? What are people doing all around the world today? And what does that mean maybe I could do? If other people are capable, well, I'm a people too. I can people. So reverence is really, really powerful, really powerful. But it isn't enough, right? We can't just have that skill. We have to also problematize because humans also, boy, I love us, but we're problematic is the kindest way to say it. We are definitely problematic. And at our worst, we are dehumanizing. And boy, we have to fix that. And isn't that what school is all about? Humanizing and working against dehumanizing. This is our work. Through knowledge consciousness. This is what this is. This is developing a new kind of awareness around knowledge. Instead of it just being one of these looks like this and it says, I can count to 100. Or I can name all the vowels, whatever it is. I'm an elementary teacher, so I tend to do the elementary stuff. Or I can name the author's purpose in To Kill a Mockingbird, right? Those things are good. We should know those things. But we need to level up and say, why are we learning them at all, right? And we do that, as I've said. But what this is about is taking a critical pause. So as you're doing your day-to-day classroom stuff, all you'll need to do with this system is take a pause, take a critical pause, and answer one of these questions. Maybe in the beginning, maybe set an alarm for a certain time of day, maybe let a kid gets to push the pause button sometime during the lesson whenever they want. There are so many fun ways to bring the pause button to your classroom. But this is about pausing the moment, pausing the lesson and saying, okay, there's the lesson. Now, what else can we learn about this lesson? Like, there's the lesson to know, and then there's all the stuff around the lesson. There's all sorts of stuff to revere about it. The human history, the human present, the human future surrounding what good we can do with it. We can imagine beyond it. We can imagine what is and what isn't, right? We can problematize and we can enhance. And I have worn myself out now, but don't worry, there's so much more coming. Eek, you guys. I'm so bummed. So anyway, the RIPE critical learning system will be available soon at teacherspayteachers.com or at my website, www.misadventureintheclassroom.com. And as I said, I'm also doing a Patreon. So, because I really would love to give these away. I don't want to make teachers pay for them. Oh, what do I want to take money from you? I know you don't have money. I am you. I would rather have other people. So anyway, let's make this more affordable for teachers everywhere and more accessible with my Patreon, where you can get really cool perks of the people, by the people, for the people. That's what knowledge is all about. Anyway, thank you for letting me go far too long in this first intro to the RIPE critical learning system. I'm really excited to see you again at afternoon teach time with Miss Adventure, where we have teach in the knowledge gardens. It's like tea time, but teach time, and it's afternoon. I figured it was a good time for like your off period or whatever. Okay, well, love you. Can't wait to get to know you. Boy, are we going to do this together? Woo! Critical learning. It's exciting. Critical knowledge building. Okay, I'm signing off. I could talk forever. Can't wait to get to know you guys and share this more with you. Have a great afternoon, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Ooh.